Hello everybody, welcome back to the Hours Man and Faces podcast, brought to you by Guillermo Clothing and GEORDIE Gifts.
www.
And we're here to discuss the defeat to Liverpool.
Oh God, did you have to say it like that?
How else? I can't say we won them, beat them.
An unfortunate loss.
Unfortunate loss. All right, what was unfortunate about it?
We lost.
Unfortunately, we lost.
So yeah, obviously the only change going into the game was Longstaff's picked up an injury.
Came out of nowhere, that one, didn't it?
Yeah, so he rolled over his ankle in training, I think.
That was
what
very
they said.
Yeah, so
lapse of him, wasn't it?
Passed the ball of him. Someone passed the ball and he controlled the ball and his foot went. So it's probably Bruce's fault that the balls are too hard or soft or something.
Blew them up too much.
Probably, yeah, probably.
So
to be fair, it's easily done, isn't it?
So that's us Shelvey come into the team.
Yeah.
And one of the last questions which we had in the question answer, which were answered before we knew anything about Longstaff, like normally happens, we record, then a couple of days later we get news about an injury. But we said, who would you rather see? Obviously we all went with Longstaff, providing he was fit.
100%.
Wasn't the case, so Shelvey comes in.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
No.
Yes.
I was no nervous. More nervous as Longstaff was there or Shelvey was there.
Really?
No, really, no. To be honest.
I was pre-match. I was more uncomfortable that Shelvey was in there. When obviously the news broke around him coming in. Obviously you've got limited choices that you can stick in there in Longstaff's absence.
It's
only, do you want to have Key or Shelvey?
It was only Shelvey or Key, isn't it?
Key, Shelvey, Matty Longstaff an outside shout, but I guess based on and I said this in a reply to a tweet on Saturday on the way to the game. I said if you could stick last season's Key in there, I'd have him every day of the week ahead of Shelvey, and potentially even Matty Longstaff ahead of Shelvey, but Shelvey it was.
So Sean Longstaff made his debut against Liverpool was the same fixture, wasn't it? This time last season, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
So I know a lot of people will be thinking, oh, Matty Longstaff, hiding him in the deep end. We're doing exactly the same as Sean Longstaff. Wasn't meant to be. Obviously, Shelvey started, and he was all right. He didn't pull any trees up, but he didn't do anything wrong.
I would say, considering the season so far, that's all you can go on.
Yeah.
Right? So forget about last season, forget about 15 years ago. Just think about this season. I think Shelvey played probably maybe better or certainly the same as Longstaff has every game so far.
Yeah, he pleasantly surprised me on Saturday, to be fair to him.
Now he might have thought he was going to kick up the arse of some of the things he said about him not working hard and things.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe
hope so.
Thought,
Yeah.
I'll shut some of these people up, I'll work hard. And I thought he worked very hard. I thought his passing was quite good. I agree that he didn't reinvent the centre midfield position. Like, he wasn't that good, but I mean, he was alright.
The most surprising thing for me, because it's something that we very, very rarely see from him, is he actually had much more ambition to get forward and actually make forward movement with the ball and stuff like that. There was a lot of times he was actually getting into the Liverpool half where we don't normally see that from him. We normally see him sitting in front of the back four, coming and picking up the ball and then trying to hit passes and stuff like that. So he actually went back to being more of a midfielder rather than that almost quarterback role that he seems to have adopted, and it was very, very refreshing to see from him.
Talk about the starting lineup now. I know people might think, well, you're only saying that because of hindsight, but I was disappointed Krafth was in late again. I'll be honest, I was. I wanted Mankiw.
We've all mentioned Mankiw and how he had a great pre-season and he hasn't really done anything wrong to lose that position. The only reason he done it because we brought the new right back in and we chucked him in. He stayed there since. Even
when he's came on, he's played well the time that he's had on the pitch.
He looks a lot more attacker minded than I ever remember him being. Mankiw, so he looks comfortable going forward to the ball and getting across in the box.
He carries the ball. Can he? That's fly, man. Sorry, it's just me. He carries the ball quite well.
Yeah.
To be fair to him, he's not great. Like, don't get us wrong. But,
oh no, of course not.
The one thing I'll say about Krafth, I think he gets in phenomenal areas. Like, I mean, I have to give him credit for that one. I mean, he gets in amazing.
Unmarked as well.
Which we'll come on to.
Yeah.
There's two opportunities that stand out for me, and one of them definitely reminds us of the Norwich game, but he certainly gets in good areas.
Rewind 60 minutes in the game first.
But then, like, I think he turns. I've seen buses turn quicker. I really have, and I don't think he's. I just don't think that he's ready for the Premier League at the moment. And
I
think they're just playing him because he's a new signing.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? He's came into a new country, into a new league. It's a higher level of football than he's used to playing in. You know, he is a Swedish international. He plays for their first team, so you expect him to have, you know, something about him. But it then does start making you wonder about the fact that he does play for he hasn't played for a really, you know, decent club team or gone into any other leagues. So you know, is that the doubt against them? But
it's difficult it's difficult coming for a team like us where we're going to defend quite a lot as well. It's not like a team where we're just, you know, we're not going to be another caution. You know, I mean, there's this game. I mean, against Norwich, for me, how on earth he played after Norwich, I don't know. He was absolutely terrible against Norwich, but we're stuck with him. And fair enough, we got the result against Spurs. Didn't think he particularly played that well in that game either. But I don't know. I just feel it's very, very unfortunate for Manquillo personally. I just, you know what I mean, I really do. I never thought I'd sit here and ever say that, but I do feel it's unfortunate. Yeah. Even he must be thinking, "All right, Gaffer, what the hell have I got?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
watching this game.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is.
So obviously, the first, before we get the initial goal, we do well from the whistle, don't we?
We're very
good,
aggressive and attack minded from the off. Took the game straight to them, which, to be fair, you somewhat expect that. Maybe when you're away from home, that you want to try and quieten down the.
What?
I don't necessarily mean from us. Let us finish. What you generally,
I was expecting 20 minutes to get Mohammed.
But that, like, you know, teams wanting to frustrate the home team and stuff like that. So it sometimes goes one of two ways. You either sit back and just let them come at you and absorb as much as you can, or you take the fight to them. We chose the latter, which made for an exciting start.
So you were there. You were at Anfield. Did you see the famous Anfield atmosphere or not? Because at the time that I've been, it's been flat.
To be fair, they had the normal flags and scarves and everything at the start of the game that you expect, and then absolutely nothing for 40 minutes from them until they got back in the game.
So let's get straight on it. Willems' goal. Have you ever seen anything like it? Let's be honest.
I've never seen anything like the scenes that happened in the stand as a.
So it was right in front of the away fans as well, wasn't it?
It was just. I mean, Atsu, like the way he somehow jumps about 15 foot in the air, takes the ball down on his chest like Marco van Basten, brings it down. Two players around him. He then turns around and to be fair, the entire away end was shouting at him, pass, 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 and he held on to it and Willems is out there in absolute acres of space, and then he plays him in, and you initially think he's a little bit late here. His chance is gone.
Great, I didn't think the pass needed to be in front.
No, well, that's it. And then
that touch that
he does,
creates that space with that touch.
He rolls his foot across like behind him, doesn't he? Like a little flick, and then he just absolutely rifles it across the face of the goal into the.
It was one of those shots where as soon as that leaves his foot, you know that's in the back of the net.
Well, I was more or less in line with like where he's got the ball and picks it up and he just rifles it, and you're half expecting it to just fly wide, and then you just see it flying to the back of that corner, and well, there was just hell on. So like, literally bodies everywhere because you just don't expect it.
I was watching the house and Walasa took Nolan swimming, so she was at the house with a bit. Nah, damn man, like obviously the match is not, so just frisbees tablet at him. There you go, crack on. See you in an hour.
Good parenting.
See you in an hour. There's knives in the kitchen. Got the knives. So like I'm sat there when it goes. Do you know what? Obviously you score a goal and you initially just celebrate, like get in like that. When that went in, I just went, oh my fucking god! Like it was that reaction because it was that good.
Well, that's it. Like everybody like stopped, looked at each other, and then just went ballistic.
It's
celebrate, and then you come back around and you're like, did you see that goal? Because it was just.
So people mentioned the likes of VAR going forward and saying they take the emotion out of a game. Did you see any of that when that ball hit the back of the net?
I didn't stop.
Did anyone look to see anything?
I better wait to see if this is going to be ruled offside or if whether there was a foul in the build-up or anything like that. you do
back your mind.
automatically think, like, as you're doing it, you have a little glimpse over at the linesman or the referee or something.
I've done that for years and years and years, haven't you?
You do that, but you knew just watching it that there was no chance of him being offside or anything like that, and it was sweet. The weirdest thing about it for me, though, was, as you say, it was scored right in front of the away fans. Yet Willems seemed to run across to the stand and like celebrate, like pointing with the standing arm. So I'm like looking up thinking, is his family sitting up there, or has he got like some mates or something like that? But I'm like, no, there's just like, because it's a canny big stand.
He runs past the Newcastle fans, doesn't he? And he celebrates.
So he's like pointing up there, and then he got.
But then it's almost on the barrier that separates the home fans and the away fans, because it's not split in the middle.
No, it's like right in the corner. So he literally runs to the side of the pitch. He's giving it this, and then
there's definitely something he knew someone.
And then he runs over to the away fans.
He knew someone in that box.
It had to be, but it's just. It was just weird.
He's
Wijnaldum's mate, yeah.
And there are families and all that, so there might have been in Wijnaldum's box or something. That's why he's giving a 10. Then he turned around to our fans and was like, "Yep."
It was if he just, I don't know, forgot where he was for a minute and
unbelievable.
Just like celebrate, and then went, "Why isn't none of these jumping around? Oh, they're all wearing red. I better go over there with all the
absolutely fantastic." Like, I think we're gonna struggle to beat that goal this season as Newcastle.
Well, I don't know. We had a few tasty ones last year,
so I think that will probably beat any of the goals we scored last season.
Give over.
I think that just pips Shaw's high. It's so the ones against Burnley.
Shaw had 2 absolute belters. Richie's against Bournemouth.
I think Willems is better than that.
Did you just say Richie's was an absolute fluke?
No, belter.
All right. I was just about to start going on. I was going to go there.
With the Willems ones is the touch, creates his own space, and it's everything about it's unbelievable.
At the time, I couldn't understand how
it's the power
got
as well,
the ball from there to there, because it was just.
Do you know what the best thing about it is? The keeper's at full stretch as well, trying to get it.
He's on with his wrong hand as well, though. If you notice, he goes with his right hand. Well, obviously his left's the error. It's always.
Someone keep us to Deka.
I know they do that. It's, but because again, watching it back on TV, maybe if he goes with his left, he probably
his hand off.
He's probably not getting there anyway.
When you think of the angle he was at to do what he did was amazing. I mean, Shea, in fairness, as good as his goal was, he's running direct at goal.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't got much target, has he? You know what I mean?
Well, he's only really got that corner. That the keeper's got no chance.
It was the best start of the. It was the start of the game that, and not just the goalie. I mean, the performance of our start of the game. I never expected that. I was expecting just to lump it forward and then just sit back and get ready for them to come forward. I honestly, truthfully, thought the first half were as good as what they were.
Do you think when we got that initial goal, we took the 1-0 lead, do you think a lot of players went, shit, what do we do now?
Well, sometimes it can be. It's hard. It's sometimes hard to manage a game, isn't it? When I've heard a lot of people say that when you're 2-0 up, it's hard to manage a game, which I disagree with. But sometimes when you're 1-0 up as early as that, it is what do you do? Because I'd imagine the game plan that we had wouldn't have thought we were 1-0 up after 7 minutes, or whatever it was. So it is a bit difficult how you go forward in the game. I guess you know.
It's that awkward run, is it? It's too early to sit back and protect it. Yeah. You can't just stop playing your game plan at that point, and so I think it made for me for a very entertaining game. The fact that we score early meant that they had to again come on to us, which, to be fair, they would have done that anyway. Yeah. But it was very, very back and forward.
So obviously
they had chances.
They did go on and get the equaliser with Money gets their first goal. His is another decent goal, but what's Krafth doing there?
I just don't know.
He just doesn't close the player down the way he should be, and he just invites him in, doesn't he?
He goes to the wrong man, doesn't he, first? And
to be fair, the finish from that one as well is very much the same as Willems.
The finish is fantastic, but it's not the finish that concerns me. It's not that defender. It's Krafth.
I think if any of our players got in that position, you'd expect them to score.
Krafth just runs in like too fast, and he's already committed to that. Yeah. So he's really skipped around already before he even.
Just awful defending. Just like amateurish championship defending that for me.
I think that's harsh. Like
what?
Oh no, I think it's very bad defending by Krafth. Like he shows that the attacking player is exactly what he's doing.
Was doing that, they'd want his dog struggle.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Twitter would be absolutely...
What's his dog called again?
I don't know. But there'd be
Buster or something?
It's not Buster. What's his dog called?
Krafth.
I haven't seen it for a while. It's a bulldog, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they would though.
Probably
Simba.
Simba, that's it.
I mean, they would.
What did you call him?
Buster.
Buster.
I don't know.
Buster,
It's just a dog's name, isn't it, Buster?
No, it is, to be fair.
To be fair, most of them dogs are called like Winston, aren't they? Because they look like Winston Churchill. Oh, yes.
I don't think it's because they look like Winston Churchill. I think it's because a British bulldog.
I don't think American would be...
That's because of the Churchill advert.
What did you used to say? Oh, yes. Was it?
You just go, oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
We're off topic, yeah. Off topic completely. So, yes, they get the equaliser. That's 1-1. I think it's 20 minutes after we
I think it was about
took the lead.
30, 40 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. So then that's when it starts going the other way. From Liverpool getting that goal, it's backs against the wall a lot of time, isn't it? Liverpool look dangerous going forward every single time.
Yeah, it's going to though, isn't it? It's kind of you're not going to Anfield and kind of have all the ball.
The thing is
especially when them scored.
I didn't think their team looked that special and that much better than us
until Firmino came on.
And then he was just...
That's the worst thing that could have happened to us in that game.
Which I've said before, he's... I couldn't believe he didn't start, to be fair.
Well, obviously, they've got the game, the Champions League game on Tuesday night. Origi getting injured is the worst thing that could have happened to us as a team there, because he went off, game plan changed completely, and Firmino tore a new also.
He's absolutely...
It is what it is.
I think he is one of the most underrated players that in the Premier League. He just doesn't get enough credit for what he does. But him in that Liverpool team just looked like a different beast with him there, because some of the passes that he was making, the moves and stuff like that he was created and involved in was just... That was the difference. That the front three of them are just ridiculous.
So the commentator made a point when I was listening to the match. He said, obviously, a lot of time when a sub comes on the pitch, it's either a like for like sub or you drop your
first choice.
Yeah. So you start working your way down the squad, the roster. Then he said, Newcastle be panicking now because Liverpool brought a sub on and it's improved their team
100%
massively.
Yeah.
So, leading on to their second, which gave them the 2-1 lead.
I mean, it was a fantastic ball through for the... I mean, it literally cuts the defence in two.
Before they even get a hold of the ball, Atsu's got the ball. So their second. Atsu's got the ball. Backs to their goal.
Yeah.
He's got two players trying to tackle him, and he still keeps on trying to shift his shoulders and go back towards goal. Then a third player, I think, joins to tackle him. And that's when he tries it again and he loses the ball.
To be fair, he's
got plenty of defenders sitting there waiting for the ball. He's got options.
Just facing him,
he's got options for easy way out. Like
it was terrible.
It's the worst place to lose the ball there.
Yeah.
It's practically on the halfway line.
With Liverpool coming forward, 3 players on him, you don't lose it there. Especially how fast Liverpool are going forward.
Yeah, it was. Well, you're saying how good the pass was. How did they get the ball to make the pass? How did they get
well, no, obviously three of them on one man.
All I know is that one person lost the ball and it was one pass and they're in. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
So they were gone. So it's Atsu's fault. Atsu's got the ball in the halfway line. He's got his back towards goal. You've tried to do your little turn once, hasn't worked. Okay, you've got a second chance. You've got 3 players I've seen
again.
just waiting for just go back in. Just go back in. No. I'll try it again. He lost the ball. It's only one person. Well, sorry, there's 2 people you can blame. One's Atsu certainly, and we're now where we're going next. Yeah. The worst bit of goalkeeping you'll probably see. It's absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And I don't want to knock him too much, but it's awful, I'm afraid. Like
it is.
The only thing that you can think is he's expecting him to get a touch and to lift it over him, because he doesn't try to get the ball. He thinks it's going to come. I don't know whether he thinks it's going to come over him or something like that, because he doesn't try to get at him. He just lets it all... Because the ball hits him.
It looks like he tries to bring it into his knees. That's what he tries to do.
Chest and bounces back off their player, and then...
I think he was probably worried that he was going to give a penalty away. Hence why he crouches into like a ball sort of thing, like trying to bring the ball in. It's... Dubravka's at fault. No matter which way you look at it, he's also at fault for the goal.
Your keeper's got to be a hell of a lot braver than that.
Yeah.
Like he has to come there and take the house. You know what I mean? I'm expecting him to do that. Like
he gets to the ball before
Aye, but it's powder puff, man. He gets.
That's what I'm saying. But the ball bounces. The ball bounces off him and then bounces.
Doesn't he
hits their player and then come over.
His knees.
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
His chest or something
I don't even understand how on earth he's even in that position. Like, you've got all the time. He's run out at the ball. He can see the ball, and he comes out to get it and hits his knees. Like, what the hell are you doing?
That's gifted. That's
shocking.
So those 2 errors gifted that goal.
Yeah. And this is the point I've been trying to make to so many people, is that you played against the champions of Europe, probably maybe the team that may win the Premier League, and their home ground, and we're 2-1 down at half time through own fault.
Yeah.
Them having fucking cup open by any stretch, which it's 2 faults that we have made. Krafth being an idiot and Dubravka not being brave enough, and we're 2-1 down.
Yeah.
That's honestly how I feel about it.
The thing is, as well, I think if you're playing any other team, you can Atsu can get away with that, and you won't see a pass like that through the middle of the defence that's totally splitting you.
I think Pogba could play that pass, De Bruyne could play that pass. There's more than just Liverpool. Tottenham could probably do that. You've got to be clever enough to realise that I've got 3 people hanging on the back of my shirt here. Don't lose it here. That's surely got to be going through your mind.
You've got to give the criticism that too as well, because like obviously Shelvey came on that during the game. He does that. He's slated by fans for losing the ball like that. Slated. So you've got to give the same to Atsu as well. He shouldn't be doing that. If Shelvey loses the ball there, there's hell on.
Let us get something straight here. I'm not particularly that arse. I don't dislike Atsu for what he's done. All I'm saying is that
need to learn from that.
You shouldn't be doing that in centre midfield when you're back towards your own goal. There's no way you're going to go. What on earth does he think he can possibly do? Does he think he's going to be able to skin 3 players and then just take it to the house? Like, just play the way you're facing. Just play.
He's just trying to keep a hold of the ball and trying to get away, isn't he? And
idiot.
Maybe he's expecting a foul to come in, because obviously when you've got that many people on you, you're expecting to get a bit of weight in your back.
He's being greedy. He's being greedy at that point. You need to learn to get rid of the ball when you need to get rid of it.
There's certain places where I want him to be greedy. That's not one of them. Centre midfield, back against your own goal. And we'll get there, but there's a thing in the second half he absolutely blitzes the whole line.
So if Joe Linton's picking up the ball there with his back to goal,
pass it, he would have passed it. Joe Linton would have passed it straight away.
I think he would have passed it.
I think you're honestly just looking for a scapegoat.
What? 2, so we're having 2.
We're having 2 then, aren't we?
3, if we include Krafth.
Have you seen the goal since, or have you only seen it live?
No, I've watched them back.
Right, so what do you think Atsu did well then? Because you seem to be defending, so what did he do well at that point? When you see we've been looking for a scapegoat,
I think it's harsh to say that he's been dispossessed, but it's like not as if he's just, not said, there's the ball. It's like,
I'm not saying he's killed anyone, but at the end of the day, you mentioned Joe Linton. All game long, his older play was brilliant, I thought. Maybe a few times could be better, but he holds the ball up, he's got 2 on his shirt, just lays it off. That's how you go ahead and then go and move again. Actually, could have played it to Hayden, I think it was, and then Spanning could have been away, but instead he wanted to keep a hold of it.
Maybe I have to watch it again.
It's not the first. So it's not the first. He does try the first time. Fine, gets away from it. He doesn't lose the ball. He's still got the ball. That's when you need to get rid of them, move and start the build up again. Him losing the ball results in them scoring the goal.
100%, yeah. Well,
put them on the front foot to score.
I think it's fair enough. He's been tackled and he's lost the ball, but for me, it's the pass that makes that goal.
No, rubbish.
We make that goal for them.
We make that
twice.
We've lost the ball and we'll keep us balled it.
But like I've just said, you could lose that ball. Right? Say we're in that same position on Saturday.
I'll still kick
three players come and take it off Atsu. Again, in a Brighton player. A Brighton player is not playing that pass.
I disagree with that.
Why not?
I disagree with that completely.
Any decent player could put a pass in.
It wasn't that good of a ball. Like, I didn't think it was a good pass, but it wasn't amazing. Like,
absolute slide rule, split the midfield and the defence to put it straight through into the box.
I didn't see that many players.
There wasn't a midfield that too, was it?
There wasn't that many. Like, it was a good ball, but I mean, Jesus, it wasn't like Zidane-esque, like the way you're going on.
I don't know.
It wasn't that good. Atsu lost the ball and we'll keep our bottle in. We're 2-1 down.
And let's be honest, Atsu, that was probably the only thing that he did wrong in the game.
Yes.
He had a fantastic game apart from that.
Atsu was absolutely class and he's been brilliant all season.
Yeah.
He's playing with a confidence that I've never seen him play with.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
And maybe that's why he held onto the ball too long, because he's confident.
Yeah.
But who knows? He's been very, very confident, and I'm not knocking him over the course of the season. I mean, he's been fantastic. He's been probably our best player, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
just that one time, just release the ball. That's all I got to do.
So it's 2-1 at this point, goes into half time. The second half comes out. were gifted an absolutely fantastic chance. So once again, Atsu puts the ball in. Atsu doing what we've seen so much at the start of the season, just running the line and knowing exactly where to put that ball in.
That's the second chance
first,
that he has that
first
game.
chance, right? Honestly.
Krafth was Krafth.
Shelvey's pass to Almiron. Now, Almiron's run was amazing. He came from the right hand side and then ran between the centre halves. Shelvey played left footed pass and Almiron heads it down to Joe Linton. Oh, it was brilliant. I thought Joe Linton possibly could have took a shot maybe, but he didn't.
You're right with Almiron. Almiron was fantastic with that header. Fantastic.
Just laid it off nicely back into Joe Linton's feet.
I wish it was the other way. And you probably think because Almiron hasn't scored, but Joe Linton headed to Almiron because it was. I don't know. I think
Almiron probably have the pace and the skill to get in a better position from that. Probably.
He let it bounce and then he took a touch and then anyway he said, "Oh, Krafth, now this is where I'm going back to Krafth's positioning." Unbelievable, him being up there by the way. To read that and go, "I'm going to go now," and I'm in. It wasn't the greatest of passes from Joe Linton in fairness, so I'm not going to blame Krafth too much, but nothing came of it. Krafth just, whatever, hit the first man. And then it felt to me anyway, within minutes we had the chance you're about to talk about.
Will you play?
You what, sorry mate?
You said it felt to me.
No, it felt to me.
I said it felt to me. I was like, will you play to me?
I would have done better than that. But it felt to me, it felt to me that within minutes we were in again with a very, very similar opportunity.
So Atsu puts the ball in, and
is that when he beat everyone on the left side?
Basically, fantastic.
Unbelievable.
And that's why I'm saying it was watching it. It was an exciting game to watch and to be involved with because
it was an attacking game from our side,
backwards and forwards, and we created some decent chances.
Obviously, you were there. What was our people around
like
you?
reaction to the game itself?
Were they surprised that we were like that, or were they disappointed, or what?
I wasn't interviewing people in the stands.
No, what I mean there was people.
No, it was like there was a buzz
last year and we never got our ball.
There was a buzz around the place. Everybody was enjoying the game, kind of thing. Like it didn't, like, even after the game coming away 3-1, it didn't feel like you'd been beaten 3-1 kind of thing, because it felt like
we got beat 1-0 when I went last year was 4-0, but I mean the year before we went 1-0.
When you look at that scoreline of 3-1, you think, oh, Liverpool must have been great there. They've scored three goals, they've been fantastic. As I said before, they probably really weren't that much better than we, bar the moments of absolute genius that they had and I'm not saying they didn't create more chances than that. They did. They had a lot of chances. Dubravka made a very good save.
After his error, he was fantastic. The amount of I'm saying match winning saves. Match winning, but
up until they scored that third goal, you weren't really
didn't feel you out
think that you were you thought that you were still in it.
So getting back to Krafth's chance, identical to the Norwich one.
Wasn't it identical? Same end and everything.
It lands at him and he tests the keeper. You've got to at least test the keeper.
I don't know what he's thinking. What house can I hit behind this stand?
Hit it as hard as I can.
To be fair to him,
I'm not being fair to him at all.
It does have a bit of an awkward height for him, but he's got to
hit target at least.
As soon as he lifts his foot off the floor, he's leaning back. And there's only one place that you need to get your head over, get over the ball.
He's in the position.
He's in a fabulous position. Twice in the space of 5 minutes. He is gambling. He's obviously seeing the move coming. He's saying, actually, I'm in here. Yeah. And I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for that. Because after the first one, when he went up with Joe Linton, he might have thought, fuck, I'm not going up there again. But then the second time he's went up there again, and he had again a Norwich situation where he's absolutely blazed it. Now, It was a massive chance. What a chance, man. When it falls to him there, like literally everybody's just waiting for him to hit it, and just because you think this is going in. I thought it was going in, I must admit. I really did.
Yeah, I did.
But a little rush of blood, bit of composure. I mean, do you know what it is? If he had scored that goal against Norwich, the same area, he might have buried that one. It's confidence plays a massive thing, doesn't it?
I think that's it.
I don't want to knock him too much because I don't particularly like him anyway. But I don't want to sound like I'm just.
I don't think he's been horrendous. Let's put it out. I don't think he's been horrendous. I just don't think he's.
That Norwich game was bad.
The problem is everybody, like the rest of the team, I give him a free rein
on that one because everyone was bad.
Is playing well, putting in good performances, and he's putting in average performances. He's having some moments where he's doing well, and he's having some moments where he's getting caught out.
He's pulled up for you.
Let's be fair to him. Playing on the right hand side, coming up against. They had bloody what's he called, Robertson, bombing on every 5 minutes, and he had a Origi to play against up in the first half, and then he was up against Mane then for most of the game.
Yeah.
So
I know. I don't know. I've never been convinced of him defensively any time I've seen him. But against Watford the other week, I didn't convince him there. I'm not convinced of him.
We've got a lot of questions in regards to him for the question and answer, so we won't talk too much on him. Obviously, their third goal comes. It's fantastic. So Firmino's pass is.
Who are you going to blame for this one?
Firmino's spectacular.
Nah, but fucking hell, man, hit him. Like, how's he got the time? Like, it just fucked us off. Honestly, it did.
It's fantastic goal.
I know it's a fantastic goal.
If only football was that easy.
I know it's a fantastic goal.
Just hit him.
I know it's a fantastic goal.
That flick though, mate. Jesus.
But he's got time to
But he baffles everyone with that.
There's not a team, a goalkeeper, anyone in the world that stops that goal.
I can't even criticise anyone. I've just got to appreciate that for
it was a fabulous goal.
Everything.
It was a fabulous goal. If you want to see me pants on
the speed of it, the passing, it was.
I actually celebrated. I was like, did he celebrate that goal? By the sounds of it, he celebrated.
I didn't, but at least
he's creaming his pants.
At the time, at least went. You appreciate it with God. That was a fucking good goal.
Yeah, I thought they wouldn't have scored it if Shea hadn't fell out. Personally, my opinion.
Nah, he was already in.
Bollocks.
Shea was going down.
I forgot Shea fell out.
If Shea wasn't going down because of the injury, I think he might have put a bit more chance.
He was already over.
I mentioned for Shea, he could have easily seen a red card. If he makes contact there, that's a red card all day long.
That's what he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I must have missed this.
He goes in and Mane skips over the challenge.
2 foot off the floor.
2 foot, no control, just dives in.
He's going to get sent off at some point, and he's been looking.
I can't even remember that.
He dives in all the time.
It was second half, midway through his second half, I would say.
But going back to the goal, yes, absolutely right. Like they're the type of goals that I want to get beat by. I'd rather that than De Bruyne. That was how long.
Watching that, it reminds me of going back, 4 or 5 years when Man City were unbelievable, when they had them front players that just. They passed the ball around you, through you, and walked it into the back of the net. Yeah,
so there's been, once again, Newcastle social media, Newcastle on bastard Twitter, there's hell on about getting beat. We're being beat by the European champions, runners up in the Premier League. What are you expecting? We sat here last week and said 2-1, 4-1, 5-1. We got beat 3-1 with a decent performance.
Yeah. When you look at, as I said, that scoreline realistically flatters them based on the game and the performance, but individual mistakes and moments of brilliance. There was not on that performance. There was not a huge gulf in class, which we know there is.
Couldn't agree more.
Special mention to Paul Dummett. I thought he had a great game.
Brilliant.
So whenever he was called upon, he done exactly what he needed to do.
Brilliant, yeah.
Just clatter players, clear it.
Which I clapped for me.
The defence were very well organised. Hayden and Shelvey played well together. They allowed each other to do different things. Maybe
I'm going to come on to the player in a minute. Like, I'm interested in your thoughts. Like,
crack on, mention them.
Almiron.
So Almiron just run himself in the ground. I think it's one of those games where, looking from the outside in, if you're not a Newcastle United fan, you probably think that he's done nothing.
Yeah, because he's getting a bit of heat off other people now, not even just us.
So I think as Newcastle fans, knowing what he does, then you appreciate what he's doing on the pitch.
I do.
Yeah. He takes a player out of the game every single game. Yeah. He takes a player out because someone's more concerned about marking him because they know he's got that much pace.
He has. I'm sorry, I love him, by the way. I really like him, but he has to start.
No, he does. Yeah,
he has to start.
He has to start either getting assists on a regular basis or scoring.
Has to.
Another Joe Linton. What do you think of him?
I thought his solo play was very good. I think his solo play is absolutely brilliant. We'll have to get people closer to him quicker, because his hold-up play, and I'm probably going to get shot here, but I think it's as good as what Rondon's was.
No, I agree.
Honestly, I think
it is. It looks
technical
good.
ability, back to goals, brilliant, man.
Yeah.
But it's hard work, isn't it? When he's got two defenders pretty much every single time on the back of his shirt, and he's not as quick as people think he is or was, and we're not really giving him much service. Like,
no, to be fair, we haven't really gave him an opportunity to open his legs and have a run, have we?
He had one or twice on the game on Saturday where I think Van Dijk took him. He probably should have released it actually, but he's not as quick as I thought he was. But that's fine. I can live with that. I'm not bothered by that, by the way. I think his link-up play and his hold-up play is phenomenal. I honestly do. I think it's phenomenal. I I just feel that we need players around him a little bit more. And I think, personally, the only way of doing that is changing formation. But we'll come on that later.
Yeah. No, I probably agree.
I've got no problems with him at all, though. Honestly,
I think it's...
I know Watford, I'm going back to him, his hold-up play at Watford was incredible against Watford.
Great.
But
he was in the wrong positions.
Yeah, I just, how long can you just keep saying he held it up really well and held it up really well? You need to do a bit more than that. You do, don't you? You just do.
It's similar back with Mitrovic, isn't it? Because we always said that about Mitrovic. Fantastic holding the ball up, bringing other players into the game. Then he was like that going forward.
I would say Joe's even better than Mitrovic in that. I really would, honestly. I do. I really think highly of him. I really do.
I would say that what's probably causing our issues is how well Atsu's playing. Because if he wasn't playing as well as he is, you would probably expect to see Almiron across on the left hand side in Atsu's position and Saint Maximin in the right. But doesn't matter, he's injured, so it wouldn't make any difference anyway at all. But what I would say, I might as well say it now, I personally would change formation back to 4. I'd go 4 at the back, and I'd play 2 in midfield, and I'd play 3 then 1, and I'd play, if he was fit obviously, I'd play Almiron, Saint Maximin. Well, actually no, I'd probably be Atsu, wouldn't it? Maybe Atsu, Almiron and Saint Maximin and Joe Linton. I'd play like literally 4. I'd play 3 and then the 1.
Ganford, yeah.
That's what
Jesus.
I would do, 100%, yeah.
Alright, Kevin Keegan.
Now what I would say though is I would say to my fullbacks, you don't fucking move.
Stay.
You stay where you are, you stay as a 4. You've got Longstaff and Hayden, say if it's them 2 or whatever, you just stay where you are. And you've got 3.
Watch Paul do what he does.
You've got 3.
That means you've got to put Paul Dummett at left back.
That's fine. You're not asking him to go forward, are you? It's fine.
Everyone watch Paul do what he does.
Poor Willems.
Just
going to be dropped.
Well,
against game.
Maybe, but you play with a 4, right? You have 2 in centre midfield, then you're leaving 3. Now, actually, personally, if let's say, you're right what you say about the Atsu situation here. If Atsu, say, wasn't playing as well, and it was St. Maximin, right? I'd have Almiron left, St. Maximin right, and actually have Joe Linton as your 10 and I'd put up front. That's what I would do. I'd have Joe Linton as the link-up guy.
I don't think we can push it on one side how well Willems and Atsu are playing together, though.
Yeah.
They look like the form and some sort of decent understanding partnership between each other.
Did you see the bit in the second half of Willems? I couldn't stop laughing. I was crying laughing when he didn't know if to head it or hoof it, and he just did both at the same time. Hey, it was like. I'm sure there's like an action figure that you should do to press a button and it would do the same. And it was honestly hilarious. But no, I'm taking the piss. That was funny, but he's very good, isn't he? Yeah. He's come in, he's done really well. He scored a good
especially
goal.
That era from the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
He's came on leaps and bounds. I know it's only 4 games since, but he's done well to recover from that.
What I seen of him in the games running up to there, it looked like that there was a player in there and he just needed to get a bit of game time.
And that's why rightfully so. Sorry, I'm saying about changing. Rightfully, we'll keep the same formation because Dummett's doing fabulously well.
Yeah.
It's left centre.
Willems
is coming for Richie very, very well. We haven't missed Richie at all.
No.
You wouldn't say you missed Richie on Saturday, would you? I certainly wouldn't. And we all thought Richie's always the heartbeat of the team. He gets players up for it. Not one of them players on Saturday who the town in, I don't think.
No, I agree.
The togetherness is there, the organisation is there. A few slotty mistakes, well, fair enough.
You just hope that attitude and level of performance and stuff that carries on into the next game when it's against a less attractive.
I'm not having this crap from some fans saying, like, because we had a comment after the reaction you did outside Anfield. We had a reaction saying, what positives are there to take from that game? There's plenty.
There was loads of positives.
Plenty of positives to take from that, and we spoke about for the last half hour what the positives are.
Well, these. Sorry,
unless they didn't watch the game and just look at the scoreline, then as I said, you could think that Sunderland, Liverpool's absolutely.
Sunderland.
I don't know why Sunderland. Liverpool's absolutely trounced with it. I don't know why Sunderland came into my head there.
It is what it is.
But I don't know.
No, I agree. I think it's just. I don't quite understand why. There's a lot of people having that attitude.
Yeah, there is.
I was at work at the time and I watched it at work. Just didn't do anything, just watched it. But anyway, a couple of people came in and it was shite, absolute shite, straight away, and I was like, what are you talking about, man? What on earth are you talking about? Like, I just, do you know what really pisses us off more than anything, right? I'll probably get wrong for saying this, you have someone. Last season, right, under Rafa, right, I used to always hear this thing about we're still in the game. We're still in the game, and we still didn't look like we were going to lose, but we did, right? So we still got beat, right? Many times we got beat. You can't say it in that game, other than when the third one went in. We were in that game for a good hour, maybe longer. I thought we were in that game, trying our best to try and score as well, as much as anything else. We were trying, we were moving the ball around well. It wasn't just a case of, right, it's backs against the wall. It was not that at all. We tried our best to play football. All right, we did lose the game, fair enough. But We lost the game by 2 slotty mistakes, which no one's in charge of. It's not Bruce's fault. It's not tactical. It's 2 sloppy goals that we've conceded and 1 utter touch of amazement class. Hold your hands up and move on.
We've seen a lot of fans saying that they would rather lose a game 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, as long as you're putting the performance in going forward, rather than losing it 1-0.
Isn't there a sign that we've got? What's this horrible? That's not horrible saying, but they say it all the time.
We don't demand the
team that wins, the team that tries.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that none of them are trying. You can't. But then the same fans who will probably hold up that banner, they'll come on and say, there was shite. What positive you got to take? A load of shite. Oh crap. That's just a nonsense attitude to have. I'm sorry.
I think that saying is more about the club rather than the team.
Well, maybe, but
yeah.
For me, I take it as a team as well, personally, and I kind of fault.
I think it's actually we don't demand a club that wins; it's a club that tries, or something like that. I think that's the whole thing. That we're not trying to progress. I think that's what that is.
Maybe, but I personally, I was there. But last season down at Liverpool, I think we played better than the year before. I certainly think we'll give it more of a go. I really do, and I think the year before that was even worse. To be honest, when we went, it was fucking dreadful.
It was a horrible game, that one.
Absolutely
the 2-0 one.
Dreadful.
Horrible game.
Couldn't even string a pass together, man.
Yeah.
Now I agree totally what Mark said though. Can you take that type of performance in against Brighton? And it's a different opposition. They're going to sit back and want to draw.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
And I said this about Watford. We'll beat Spurs away, and I said against Watford it's going to be a totally different game. And I don't know if we're good enough to break teams down.
You're going to have to work a lot harder against Brighton than what you are against Liverpool to get the goals.
Yes, you probably work harder shape-wise in terms of chasing the ball down, but you're working harder in a different way. And we're good enough to do that. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But I certainly think there's positives in the game. And if you don't think there's a positive, you haven't got a clue, in my opinion.
Agree. Right, let's wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week.